poppin', y'all? This is Deidre with One Shot Game, man. You already know how the motto go. You get one shot at life, but a lifetime to learn all the game you need to help improve your life. The choice is yours on which route you choose to take. Now, as I always say, you get two choices: the ability to faithfully settle in the life that has been set out for you, or the ability to pave a path towards your destiny. That choice is also up to you. So before I get into the title of my video, I want to say a big shout out to all my supporters. You guys are great. And even the ones behind the scenes, I see y'all too. So, hey, look, check this out. The title of this video is going to be on the fact that there is a balance between work and home life. You know what I'm saying? If you are someone that is working in your purpose, you know what I'm saying, you have a gift and you're trying to make a way for yourself using that God-given gift, and it's directing you a certain way, I feel like it's very important that now we understand how to manage home life as well as putting the work in when it comes to being great in life. Because I've heard on a couple podcasts that there's no work-home balance when you're trying to be great. And I disagree. You know what I'm saying? I believe that home life goes towards the places where people wanted to go to, and not necessarily concentrating on what's important aside from getting it back. Let me explain it to you in probably a way people can understand. Usually it is up to the male, right, to put in all the work, to get all the money, you know what I'm saying, to bring all the bread home, to pay for the bills, right? But usually in the process of that, it can take a load off of him by having a woman by his side or having a wife by his side, right? But if you don't got that home life together with her, it's going to fall apart and put more stress on you not being able to do your job. You know what I'm saying? You have to find the time to balance the two. And I feel like a lot of the world has been trying to keep us constantly busy all the time so that we don't have time to focus on that. And this is coming from someone that was able to manage both home life and work life. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy. I'm not going to lie to you and say it's easy, because it's not. But I feel like you can do it if you really put your mind to it. And I'm going to use an example where I create content, right? I do everything behind the content. I edit it, I record it, you know what I'm saying? And that takes time. Oftentimes, maybe 5 to 6 to 7 hours out the day, right? But again, I can't just constantly be tied to that I miss the opportunity to take care of myself. You know what I'm saying? I still got to shower. I still got to cook breakfast. You know what I'm saying? I still got to eat. I still got to make sure my child is taken care of. So I would pause and take the time to, you know what I'm saying, make sure those things were okay. You know what I'm saying? And then getting back to it and pushing the content out. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, it's still effective. It's still getting to where it needs to get to. You know what I'm saying? As well as making sure that I'm taking care of myself. I gotta cook. I gotta do the laundry. You know what I'm saying? It's a way that you can do it. Not only that, I was raised in a household where I seen it done. You know what I'm saying? Where moms, you know what I'm saying, did work, and we did have to go to school. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we got home, she wasn't there. But on the days where she was off, or when she did get off, it was a lot of, you know what I'm saying, making sure certain things were taken care of when it came to us, you know. And I just feel like we grew up in an era where, excuse me, it was not, you know what I'm saying, adequate to take care of both of those at the same time. Like, it was either one took care of the money and all the bills, and then one stayed at home and took care of the kids. So it was like there was no space or room, you know what I'm saying, for anybody to be anything different. Now, this goes, you feel me, for the people that have kids. If you don't have kids, you can kind of like spread your time out anywhere you want to go. You know what I'm saying? But for anybody pursuing a dream or anybody pursuing a job to try to make ends meet, it's going to take time out of your life. But if you're not catering to the side of you that has children or has a home life, one of them is gonna have a disadvantage. And I feel like personally, it you can go to work and be tied up in your work and forget about home life. But when you have issues at home, it's kind of hard, you feel me, to bypass those and not fix them. And oftentimes I feel like now we're living in an age where a lot of the men are so hell-bent on making money, they don't give a fuck about focusing on their kids' needs. They don't care about tending to their own issues. It's just all about making money. You know what I'm saying? To take care of home. And so that puts you in a certain state of mind to where, as a human being, we have needs. So oftentimes you have intercourse because it feels good. It takes your mind off of certain things. If you're not protecting yourself, you feel me, you bring children into the world, and now you just looking at these children like they pawns. They're not pawns. They're human beings. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you can make the time. First off, let's say like a lot of the jobs should require, you know what I'm saying, higher pay to be able to live in this world. Because I'm going to speak for myself when I say this, but when I go into a job, right, I'm very fast at learning, very quick at learning how to do the job, because my cognitive skills and how to pay attention is you feel me, hands-on learner. So once I get it, I got it. You know what I'm saying? I move quick, I move fast. So if I can get it down quick and fast, and I feel like I can maximize my time limit there and still be effective. You know what I'm saying? And be able to take care of home. And again, I've had situations where the last 2 jobs I worked, it would be times where I would finish what I was doing, right, quickly. And I felt like I wanted to go home because I needed to be able to cater to my daughter's life as well, right? But I feel like a lot of times when companies sense those skills in you, they want you to stay there. You know what I'm saying? And be effective for them, but not be effective for your children. You know what I'm saying? And this is times where like the work would be done. The last job I had, it was a good job. The work would be done and I'd ask if I could go home and they would tell me no. Simply because they wanted me to stay to be productive for them, but not be productive towards my child. So then it gets to a point where you got to start explaining, and sometimes people don't care to hear that, especially when you're so money motivated. You know what I'm saying? And you're ruled by money. Money dictates your life. You will put off the things that's important to you. You know what I'm saying? To be able to have the money come in. And the job I had before that, I'm telling you, these bosses can vouch for me. You know what I'm saying? Times where we would do what was needed to be done. And this person understood. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be like, can we leave early? Yes. Long as you do what you need to do and you hit the goal for the day, y'all can leave. Hey, big kudos. You know what I'm saying? Because I got stuff I need to handle at home as well. That a lot of times, time and attention, you know what I'm saying, needs to be put in to little souls so that they can grow up and be effective. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's like an hour at a time, or it's like, you know what I'm saying, 2 hours at a time, or maybe a few hours on your day off, it still matters. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the times when you work in these jobs and they have you on continuous, you know what I'm saying, they will keep you there by offering you money. And that's kind of like taking out of, you know what I'm saying, the time needed to be effective when raising families. You know what I'm saying? That time is important, especially if you have children, you know? So for me, I feel like a lot of people are now in this mindset to where they'll neglect everybody, you feel me, that they claim to care about to get the bag. People are so rooted and focused on getting money that they will neglect all their relationships, all their partnerships, everything they have going on with people. And you got to think of what that do over a certain period of time. You so focused on getting the bag that in order to show up for these people, you have to be fake. You know what I'm saying? You have to be a fake version of who you are to show up for these people that you claim to care about, because a lot of people don't have that work and home life balance. And big shout out to the people that do. I see it on social media. It's a couple people with podcasts that balance out home and work life. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's very important. You can do it if you really put your mind to it, and I feel like that's setting boundaries. Don't be required to give so much to get the bag that you are requiring less of your home life. You know what I'm saying? You can set those boundaries, and if you're really good at what you do, those people will be understanding. But most of the time, people don't even say nothing. You know what I'm saying? They just allow people to overwork them. When you get home, you tired. Coming from somebody who used to be so tired all the time, every time I got off work. You got to think of when you have a little kid, how that looks to them. You come home, you tired. You can't interact with them. You can't play with them because your body is worn out. You know what I'm saying? Because you're constantly trying to put in work at this place that gives you the money that you need to survive. I feel like it really should be a balance, considering the fact that now we have a new species of humans in the world that are incredibly fast, incredibly, you feel me, easy, and pick up on stuff quick. They can get the job done in a more effective time period to be able to put time into their home life. You got to consider that. You know what I'm saying? You can't look at it basically studying the old rules, because these new, like, superhumans, as they want to call them, are quick. They pick up quick. They, you know what I'm saying, they move quick. They learn quick. They can get the job done effectively in a certain amount of time to be able to make sure that they are okay, to be able to be an overall well-managed human being. Because if you're not right, if you're not cool in yourself, how can you be an effective employee? How can you be an effective parent? How can you be an effective relative? You can't, because you're so worn out by the conditions of trying to show up in the world as having all and everything in life. You know what I'm saying? That requires so much of you that you don't know how to give back to yourself. It's crazy, insane, but it's happening a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like now is the time that if we don't speak up and say, you know what I'm saying, hey, look, how about we make it to where people can go to work, not have to worry about the time frame of making enough money to pay for the bills or pay for where they live. If you make that equally match up, it won't be no, you know what I'm saying, I gotta stay extra overtime for this, that, and this, and third. You could be able to do what you need to do, go home and take care of your home life as well, because that, I feel like that's a part of a human being. People be out here miserable and lonely and constantly just have a 24/7 work life all the time. They don't do nothing else but just work all the time. That will take a toll on you too. Like I've said before, anything in excess can ruin you, period. Doesn't matter what it is. You could be getting the bag so much that ruin you. You know what I'm saying? You could be focused on something so much, it ruins you. You may not see the effects of it in the beginning, but over time you will. Anything in excess is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that pours into their partner 24/7, 34/7, dangerous. You don't have no life outside of that, dangerous. You know what I'm saying? You all at work all the time, dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta have balance in life, because life is about balance. Coming from someone that has actually been an example for everything I speak on and being able to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's tiring when you're having the motivation and goal towards something. You have to take a break. You know what I'm saying? You have to be wise enough to understand, I can't commit my whole entire existence to this. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to get tired. I need time to relax. I need time to recharge. I need time to, you know what I'm saying, be able to get myself back together, to be present and show up the next day. Because if you don't, I promise you, at some point it's going to show. There'll be times where bosses have to talk to their employees because they're not showing effective production for that day. Probably because they're going through something at home. You know what I'm saying? And of course you don't want to tell just a random stranger about it, because especially if they got a business to run, they're not going to be so considerate to your home life, especially if they're more considerate about making so much money. I promise you, it's a way to do it. It's just, it's new for everybody, and people are figuring out how to compartmentalize being effective in a product, making it, you know what I'm saying, produce numbers, as well as having these people be able to be effective and have time for their home life. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the superhumans are still growing into who they are. But once they get to that point, you know what I'm saying? I promise you, they're skilled at what they do. They just haven't been able to take the time to focus on themselves because they always focused on everybody else and what they doing. You know what I'm saying? It takes time to heal that and process that. But home and work life can be balanced. And I'm just speaking for someone. I only got one kid, by the grace of God. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, are human beings still suffering from trauma because of the simple fact that if your parents took you having everything as replacing emotional fulfillment, you get to a certain age where you don't know how to have a relationship. You don't know how to talk to people because you didn't have that example growing up because that person was too focused on making money. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, both needs to be done to sustain a life. But I truly and honestly believe that it can be done if people speak up and have boundaries. I'm one of those people. I'm not settling. You know what I'm saying? If I had the strength and the willingness to be adult enough to bring a child into the world, I now have to be considerate of her life as well as my own. So if I put a boundary in front of something because I have to make sure I make it to her basketball game or make it to her event, I'm going to be so good at what I do, you're going to reconsider that offer. It may take some time. I may have to go without 2 days pay, and that's fine because my daughter will always be my daughter. But you can make money anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people in certain companies don't get that one particular individual that's sharp, that knows what they're doing, that's effective. Sometimes that's only a dime a dozen. It's hard to come across that person again. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to try to do whatever you can to accommodate that person so that you can have effective results in whatever it is that you do. Straight like that. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's imperative. I'm not finna settle. You know what I'm saying? Again, like I said, took the adult responsibility to bring a child into the world. And if I'm going to do that, then I have to be able to separate my work life from my home life. You know what I'm saying? But be able to cater to both of them at the same time. Because, again, if she is healed and skilled in whatever it is that she do, when she grows up, she is also going to be effective in what she does when she has that balance. Now, if she doesn't have that balance, she's going to grow up and emotions are going to be all over the place. She's not going to be effective in what it is that she does because she's too busy affected by trauma, which is pulling her all different ways. In a basically an energetic way. You know what I'm saying? Trauma can affect your energy in ways to where you don't know how to protect it. And so you allow everybody to get it. And then it stresses you out. And that stress has an impact on your home life and your work life, period. You know what I'm saying? I've been an example of being stressed out at home. You know what I'm saying? And going to work and pretending like I'm happy and I wasn't. So it was slowing me down. I couldn't move as fast because I was really depressed and thinking about home instead of being effective at work. So I feel like if someone tells you that you can't balance those out, I think that's misinformation. Maybe in the past it probably wasn't balanced out, but look at where a lot of the adults are at now. Now we're trying to heal ourselves because of the simple fact we didn't figure out how to make those both work. It's nothing wrong with being a strong, independent woman or a strong, independent man, but you can make the bread as well as being attentive to your home life. Because as humans, we still have needs. We still need love, you know what I'm saying? We still have kids to take care of. It can't just be all about money all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually you're going to get pulled so far to money, you're not even going to know who you are. You have no idea who you are because you're just so focused on getting the money. Now when the money stops, you lost. You know what I'm saying? It's real. So I feel like now is the time that we figure out how to balance those two. And it's going to take, you know what I'm saying, some lessons that need to be learned, but a good lessons though. You know what I'm saying? So listen. If you don't know what it is, I just told you. Please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe.